Yogi clan, good afternoon. Welcome back to Yogi Cycle Service. It is Thursday afternoon. I am done with work. It's 5 o'clock. I'm heading home and I got the day off of work tomorrow. I am so excited. I can sleep in, and let me tell you, there aren't many days of the year that I can sleep in. So when I get one of those opportunities, I really choose to take it. But I wanted to start off this video giving a shout out to an Instagram group. So you need to look them up, called Charlotte Dyna Crew. If you are in Charlotte and you ride a Dyna, you need to check these guys out. I met them the other day. Cool group of guys. From what I can meet, there were only a few of them that showed up there at Pinky's restaurant in Huntersville, but they showed up. It's a group of guys. They all have Dynas, obviously by their name, Charlotte Dyna Crew. But you know what? Even though I showed up on this old geezer glide, they still welcomed me with open arms, and that was pretty cool. So Charlotte Dyna Crew, if you live in the Charlotte area, you own a Dyna, and you want to hang out with like-minded people who own Dynas, check these boys out, man. They're a pretty good group of guys. I really liked them, so I thought I'd give them a plug here. But that's not why I'm here. Why I am here is because a good friend of mine and a subscriber and a watcher of the channel, I've been asking, hey man, if you got ideas, reach out, shoot them to me, let's talk about them, and I'll do my best to talk about them. So I had a subscriber who's also a friend reach out and go, hey, I got an idea for you for a YouTube video. He's like, the idea, I'm actually kind of ashamed to tell you, but I dumped my bike this week, and I thought maybe you could do a video about dumping your bike, specifically about the embarrassment, shame, the oh my pride was hurt type feeling you get. Now I'm not talking about accidents where you wipe out and get hurt, get injured, the bike's total. I'm not talking about those kind of accidents. I'm talking about, you know, you're standing here, you pull up to a light, your foot hits some oil, and boom, over goes the bike, you dumped it. Now everybody gets to watch you pick that bike up. It's kind of like walking down the street in the winter and hitting ice and landing on your keister when you hit an ice patch when you're walking down the street, and you quickly, you know, pop up, dust yourself off, look around, make sure nobody sees you. You know, that feeling there. And you know, although he dumped his bike, he self-admittedly said he made a stupid mistake and dumped his bike. And it was the feeling of pride that was hurt, the embarrassment of dropping your bike, the embarrassment of dumping your bike. He wasn't injured, thankfully. So that's the kind of accident we're going to talk about today, and all those feelings that go along with it. So let's dig into the intro, then we'll get into the discussion. Alright, Yogi Clan, welcome back. So, you go outside, say you're out to dinner with the wife, out to dinner with a girlfriend, you're looking Joe Cool, you're at an establishment somewhere, you walk out to your bike, you hop on it, your wife gets on the back, and you go to take off, and something happens, and you have to stop short, and you drop the bike. Wife spills off the back, and there you are, bike's on the ground, you're feeling like an idiot, Mama's yelling at you, making more of a scene, and you just kind of want to crawl in a hole and disappear. Another good example, good friend of mine, we were up in DC riding around, he was following behind me, trailing behind me, and we were pulling out into an intersection, and we were making a right on red, and I was in the front, he was behind me. I hit the throttle. Usually what I'll do when I'm pulling out from an intersection, I'll crack on the throttle, let people behind me know, hey, all right, we're going. As soon as this car passes, we're going. I crack the throttle to go. Well, right as I'm getting ready to go, quickly this car comes around the corner, and I realize if I pull out, this car is going to hit me. So I decided to hit the brakes and stop. Well, my buddy behind me, I guess he was paying attention to me and not traffic, and didn't see all what was going down. So he sees me quick stop, and he, in order to avoid hitting me, hits the brakes hard, and we were doing like, what, 3 miles an hour? Nothing fast, but he's on a Road King. And when he did, he got off balance, and boop, bike falls over. So you get that feeling, you know, that feeling you get of Oh gosh, I feel like a freaking idiot. I look like an idiot. I know I do. And now I'm really embarrassed. Now everybody's watching me because this 800-pound motorcycle is laying on its side. And holy cow, look at the traffic. Charlotte, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Not very fun. Boy, I'm glad this bike is liquid cooled. Come on, North Carolina, let's legalize some lane splitting. Maybe soon we'll get through this and return to our conversation. That's the beauty of editing. You don't have to sit through this. It goes really fast for you. Let's see if we can get home without spilling my coffee. Dip-a-dane! Alright, Yogi Clan, we're moving again. And we're about to hit my favorite entrance ramp of all time. Well, maybe not all time. My favorite one in this area. Here we go. An upward, tight right-hand turn. It's just a lot of fun. Whee! That little pig hanging out the window. Whee! What commercial was that for? Oh, traffic is stopping. Great. And here we are. Oh, about to get rear-ended. Here we are in traffic again. Oh, dude, can you move over a little? Now up here, everybody dives and goes down the shoulder. And let's go. You do what you gotta do, right? Well, look, I don't have to go down the shoulder. I can go down the right lane. There's another motorcycle behind me doing the same thing. I'm not going that way. Y'all go that way. I'm going this way. Alright, here we go. Back to it. Back to the conversation of feeling like a schmuck when you drop your bike. I don't really have a whole lot to say. Fortunately, I don't have a whole lot of experience with this. I remember my first ever bike that I had up in Syracuse, New York. I was a college student. I had a Kawasaki 650, a 1979 650. And I was living in a fraternity house at the time. And that fraternity house was on a very steep hill. And I don't remember exactly what I was doing. All I remember is on that very steep hill, I wanted to make a U-turn. And let me tell you, it was like a steep hill. So I started going up the steep hill and decided I wanted to U-turn right in the middle of the hill. Well, let me tell you, making a U-turn in the middle of a steep hill takes a little bit of practice, I think. So I started making the U-turn. Next thing I know, boom, dropped the bike right there in the middle of the road. Luckily, it was a Kawasaki 650. It was not really hard to pick it back up. I was a slow-moving drop, you know. Didn't hurt anything, didn't damage anything. And the bike was, this was probably about 93 or 1994 when this happened. And the bike was a 79, so it was already 14 years old. It probably had, I don't know, 30-some thousand miles on it. But it didn't damage it. It didn't do anything. But yeah, so here I am in the middle of the street trying to pick up my bike. You know, all these college ladies are walking by looking at me, and I'm just hanging my head in shame, feeling like an idiot. Pick up my bike, hop on it. Yeah, you never see those people again, so I really could care less. But at the time, I felt like an idiot. Up in DC, when my friend drops his bike behind me that I was telling you about, I'm sure he felt like an idiot at the time, and I felt really bad because I felt kind of like I was the cause of that, because I stopped short, which caused him to stop short and lose balance. Because when you jam on your front brake, not your rear brake, but when you're doing slow movements and you jam on that front brake, it nosedives. When it nosedives, it throws your balance off. And if you're not ready for it, especially if you're too up. You know, I saw a video by MC Ryder not too long ago. He was talking about pulling up to a traffic light, pulling up to a stop sign, using the rear brake at slow move when you're slow moving, not the front brake. That way the bike comes to a slower stop. When you come to a stop, you put your left foot down because your right foot's covering the brake, and you won't get off balance. I'm here to say that's 100% true, because when you're coming up to a stop sign or a traffic light and you're feathering that front brake at slow speed, sometimes the front end can dip down a little bit. When it does dip down, it throws balance off. And especially when you're two up, when the balance gets just a little bit off, when you're two up, that's amplified. And it makes it a whole lot easier to drop the bike when you're not intending on doing that. But if it happens to you, yeah, you're going to get that feeling of shame, of my pride is hurt, and oops, I dropped my bike. But you know what, man? Dude, that's life, you know? Get up, dust yourself off, and keep going to it. And just remember that any of those people who saw you do that stupid move, you're probably never going to see again, unless, of course, it's your BFF, in which case I'm sure he'll rib you about it from now until the end of time. But if that's not the case and you're riding solo and you drop your stuff, who cares? Pick it up, carry on. I know a few riders who, let's see, what's the political correct term, are vertically challenged, who drop their bikes once every couple months, it seems. I've seen that. One fella, very good friend of mine, very close, love him to death. He's on the shorter side. He rides a bagger like this one, and he stretches to get to the floor. He's tippy toes when he gets to the floor. So if he gets on a road surface that's uneven and his feet can't reach the ground, yep, he's going down. He's going over. Usually it's slow speed stuff, but it's the slow speed stuff that's really a pride crusher, a pride killer. But again, who cares? You're riding, right? Oops, I dropped my bike. Oh well. Hopefully it's in a spot that doesn't do too much damage. Hopefully it doesn't scratch it up too bad. Hopefully it doesn't dent the tank. If you've noticed this bike here, the owner who owned it before me, over here on the side, the fairing is scratched up, the saddlebag is scratched up, and down here on the tank, there's a dent. Was that done by yours truly? No, that was done by the owner before me. He was in a spot, I think he was on a hill trying to do a U-turn, just like my college incident, and in the middle of that, he went to put his feet down in the middle of the U-turn, and the feet didn't reach, and dunk, over the bike went, and it scratched up the fairing, scratched up the saddlebag, and put a dent in the tank. So yeah, one of these days I'm going to get a dent puller kit. So one of these YouTubes, probably 6 months, a year from now, we're going to attempt to pull that dent out of this tank. I saw a dent puller kit that looks like a professional kit. It has the light with the lines and everything. It's about 50 or 60 bucks off Amazon. It has the suction cups, it has the glue and the dent pullers and all that good stuff. Now, I am not a dent puller expert by any means. Hey, I'm willing to give it a try. I've watched probably about 100 videos on it. I feel confident enough, but we're going to give it a try. It's not really a big dent. I don't really think I can make it look any worse than what it currently is, so why not, man? Let's try it. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Let's do it, Yogi Clan. So stay tuned for that, but just know that's probably, I don't know, 6 months to a year out. That's probably not coming anytime. Unless, of course, I get some awesome sponsor to step up and say, hey, Yogi, I noticed you got a dent in your tank. Hey, man, let's try this kit out and see what happens. So we are rolling down the highway, keeping pace with traffic, and I am noticing a lot of wind on my chin. I hope that's not really picking up on the microphone. I noticed this morning when I recorded, some of the wind was picking up on the microphone. I just ask you to bear with me as I test out this new equipment and figure out what works, what doesn't work, and what works better than other things. But highway speed, doing 80 miles an hour, I guess we'll see. We shall see what the wind noise sounds like. This morning I had my windshield cracked a little bit, so I fully closed it this time. Hopefully that eliminates a little bit of the wind sound. So bottom line, to my buddy who dumped his bike this week and felt the shame and suggested that I do a video about this. Bottom line is, and I don't really want to use the words that are coming to mind from the Forrest Gump t-shirt, but crap happens. It happens, man. You can't avoid it. So all you can do is kind of laugh about it, shrug it off, pick up your stuff, hop back on it, and keep on trucking. It's gonna happen. Stupid things happen. We lose our balance. We drop our stuff. We're just hoping it happens less more than often. So one of the biggest ways that I can help you to avoid that is by telling you at slow moving speeds, cover your brake on the rear. Don't cover your braking with the front brake. Cover your brake on the rear. Don't make your bike nosedive. It'll help you keep your balance a little better, especially if you have a top-heavy bike. Because a top-heavy bike, if you create a nosedive by using your front brake, you're going to dump it, and you're going to be doing the walk of shame, or the lift of shame, rather. So there's my tip for you today. Don't feel bad. I'd call out his name, but I don't want to embarrass him. I'll just say, don't feel bad, Donna D. Stuff happens, brother, and I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you didn't get hurt. I thank you for watching my channel. I thank you for giving me tips. Keep those tips coming. If there are any other things that you can think of for us to talk about, I am happy to record a vlog, whether on my bike, in my truck, or from the garage. It is Easter weekend. I am taking the kids from church hiking tomorrow, so I don't think I'll be recording anything in the garage this weekend. I need to do some work on my wife's minivan. Need to check out the rear struts and replace a power steering line. So I'll probably be working on her van instead of working on the bike. One of the things I can be doing next is that primary is leaking on that 508. It's starting to get a little bit more. So I think soon, in one of these weeks, really soon, we're going to be pulling that primary off that bike. And I will bring you all with me so you can watch and see how I pull a primary off a Softail. So I want to replace all the seals and gaskets. I bought a primary kit about Christmas time. So I've had it about 4 months now, with the anticipation of replacing the belt on there. But you know what? I don't have the money to replace that belt quite yet. So, since I can't replace the belt quite yet due to funds, we're just going to pull it off and replace all the seals. If that means I have to replace the seals again later when I replace the belt, then that's what we do. Maybe I finish the summer riding season out with that belt still on there and get a new belt in the fall or a new belt in the winter. Or if somebody has a contact at Goodyear and is willing to sponsor me a belt, then I will plug them and replace that belt at that point in time. But until then, this poor man's going to have to make it stretch and make it work. I also need to look at possibly adjusting the belt on this motorcycle here. I notice in the morning when it's cold out, I get a little bit of squeaking from it. So we're going to check the belt tension on this and maybe adjust that, try to get rid of some of this squeaking. We'll figure that out. We'll put a test on there and see which way we need to take it. But I thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribing for content coming down the road and review on Dynabeads. Wrote down probably about 6 different videos on my phone of some stuff I got coming soon. Also on my computer, I got a list of about 20 different videos. I need to go through that list and update it and cross off the ones we've done and update it with the ones that we need to do. But yeah, the content keeps coming, but I ask you again, just make sure you're telling me what you want to hear and what you want to see. I'd be happy to do it. Made a lot of good connections yesterday with some smaller YouTube channels. Eared Raven, I think her name is. She looks like she's had her channel for about 3 months or so. PA, Bearded Biker, something along that nature. He's another small YouTuber. I hooked up yesterday with about 4 or 5 small YouTubers, and I was pretty excited about that. We had some good conversations going back and forth. That's how I had that video this morning about concealed carry. A guy named Mike Keeley 7, I believe his name is. Yeah, made some really good connections. Excited to see the channel growing, so make sure you're subscribing. That way you're staying updated with current content. I realize I'm putting a lot of stuff out there. I realize that. I realize it's probably more than you can keep up with, and that's fine. That's okay. I'm just trying to get a lot of content up on the page, but I'm trying to take my time and make it good content. I don't want to just throw junk up there. I want it to be good. So help me with that. Help me keep it good by giving me some good ideas. Lots of stuff I got going on. Had a good friend of mine from out at the coast. He did a review on a lift that he has. He filmed it in his garage and he sent it to me. It's basically the same type of scissor lift that I have. Mine's a Craftsman. His is by a different manufacturer. So because he sent me his video, I might mirror image his video and then chop up his video and sister my content with his content together so we can have a little fun and do a mixed review of two different lifts in the same YouTube clip, filmed at different times by different people. I think that'd be kind of fun if I can pull it off. So that's going to be coming up down the road here soon. Also, you can see it got the GoPro mounted where it's supposed to be, on the front of the helmet now. I'm going to do a review on this clip that is attached to the front of this helmet and some other stuff coming down the road. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you're enjoying the channel. If you are, give me some likes, because likes help get me noticed. Likes help get views. So I thank you again, Yogi Clan, for all your support, for every one of you subscribers out there supporting me. I truly, really appreciate it very much from the bottom of my heart. I hope you all have a wonderful Easter. Remember, He lives, He is risen, and He lives. Take care, Yogi Clan. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. God bless, and peace.